Oh, I don't know this right. Can I loosen? Well, good morning and welcome to Simply Live with SimplyLesa. Uh, I'm trying to loosen my hand right in the way, probably. Trying to loosen this connector on my tripod, and I have it so tight I can't loosen it. Let's see. If I twist that, can I make it work? Oh, there we go. Ooh, look. I think I'm more in the frame. Of course, I can't see the phone at all because the sun is in my eyes. So I'll show you some of here and see if I can get me turned around. Oh, I know. Let's um let's do this. Look at those mountains, aren't they cool? And let me walk around the other side. I think that's what I did last week. You can see uh there was some work going on the last few days here. A lot of work going on here. Okay. Let me see who's. Ooh, whoops, whoops. Don't kick the thing. There we go. Is that better? Eh. You know, when you watch things like I do sometimes I research and watch other YouTube videos on how to do a good video or how to do a good live. And of course, my head is if I could cover this handle on the tracker, if I could adjust this a little more. All right. Wrinkled shirt, it's the way it is. Y'all get what you get, right? All right, let me see if I can see what y'all saying. So, good morning. Let me make sure that live chat is button is clicked. I can't see that. Okay. There's no glare on it. But the font this morning, not my favorite thing because I didn't set it up landscape. I forgot and set it up portrait again, which happens every once in a while. Good morning, Lesa. It's that must be Iris. I can't see the thing. I think I gotta get glasses today. Let me reach in this door. Scoot us around a little bit. Y'all gonna help me get my glasses now. Or get a pair of glasses. Because I can't read that thing. I wonder if these oh no, let me get if I get this pair, you might not be able to see my eyes. Um because these are my prescriptions and they're also sunglasses. So they might be a little dark for you to see me, but let's try this pair. Oops, ouch. Pinch my finger. There we go. To be honest with you all this morning, when I first got up, I was like, I don't know what I want to talk about today. What am I going to, how am I going to maneuver this? What do I want to talk about? All right, let's see. Is that Shane? I was just speaking about you earlier over my breakfast live chat. All right, let me scroll this. They give me an inch and a half of space to read when the phone is this direction. That looks like maybe Beth. Welcome. I can't see the second person's name at all. Oh, Mojave, Loretta, hi. Iris, hi. I don't see whose name that one is. That looks like, man, I can't see today. Oh, SSR, you like the green hearts. Welcome. Shane, welcome. Beth, welcome. Yeah. All y'all, anybody I missed, welcome, welcome. This probably tiny, but I don't see that name. Anyways, I hope you all brought some questions today. At least we're going to be out here and visit with each other a little bit. These are the prescription glasses that I got in Algodones, Mexico on my way to Baja this year. And I got like, they cost me a little bit of money on my budget. This was an investment piece, but I wanted a good pair of glasses with no line bifocals. So, and progressive darkening lenses. I think I'm saying the right terms for all of that. So, and I got them specifically with the bigger uh, 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 lenses, so that not knowing what the situation, but for traveling and for reading the computer and everything, I wanted one pair to do as much as possible. And I am able to, I still don't really need glasses for reading. Of course, I need glasses for a little more distance to see it clearly, but I can see good. So I don't remember what I test out as, but just kind of as an FYI, I wanted one good pair of glasses that would do almost everything, so I didn't have to have a bunch of different glasses, and so I could read both the dash and see out the window when I was driving. And so I got these because I have a pair of glasses that I had gotten that have metal frames on them. I had gotten those from the Ram Medical Center one year in uh, Pahrump, and they're a good pair of glasses. That pair just feels better for like doing up close work, and they have a line in the bifocals. And then I have a different pair that's my old sunglasses that I bought in Algodones probably 7 years ago. And those just are just plain old sunglasses and they're distance. And I love all three pairs for different things, but I don't want to carry those when I'm traveling. And so they're in the vehicle. But if I was to hop on a plane, this is the pair that would go with me because they can do the most in one pair. And that was kind of what I was aiming for. All right, let me see what y'all are out here talking about. I tried to, I believe that I shared this on Facebook to a couple of groups. Hi, George and Tammy. George and Tammy have been, Tiny GPS, they have been wonderful about allowing me to be human and like sometimes talk to them. And sometimes they call and check in with me. Sometimes they're working on a project and they call me to just chit chat through whatever they're thinking. Sometimes, as humans, we need to think out loud with another human being. So they've been awful good about letting me sometimes just talk like, I don't know why I need to say this to a human being today, but can you guys handle a conversation? You know, and they've been great about that. So I appreciate them. I appreciate you all. We all have different relationships doing different things. Oh, Catherine, are you around? SSR. I need a pair of glasses to be the same thing. Yes, and I have found SSR that if you do go to the southwest for the winter and you can go over to Algodones to get a pair of glasses that will do more functions in one pair. I think the price is good, but you do need to be very vigilant and careful to spend enough time testing them and in the conversation with the eye doctors down there, because they take people in and within a couple of hours you have your glasses and you can leave. And a lot of people are so excited that they just are, oh my gosh, and they walk away. And then, a week later, they realize that the no line bifocals make them dizzy or that it's not quite right. And if you don't stick around long enough to be able to go back and say, hey, the adjustment's off, or like these, I knew one of the legs, the screw was really, really super tight on it. Well, the screw fell out when I was riding with somebody, I don't know, 2 weeks later. And so I was able to just run into Walmart and have Walmart fix my screw on that because Walmart glass place, Vision Center, whatever they're calling them, they'll do things like that. They'll clean your glasses if the adjustment's a hair off, even if you didn't buy them there. They're really good about, oh yeah, I can fix that thing for you that the bend is not quite right. But it's good to kind of have the ability to do some of those things. Um, Hey, Catherine, let me update you guys. I feel like I haven't done any of the welcome to the Simply Live thing in our community this morning spiel. And I also feel like I didn't do any of the housekeeping. Like, please remember to hit the thumbs up. We have, yeah, there is our memberships available, but I might say this about the memberships. I don't know. Oh, Brooke, Betty Joe, nice to see you again. I don't know how you all feel about this, but I have the membership on YouTube. And I've had this Nevada saga, right? I'm still here. The engine is not here. During this week, there was one piece of communication from the people that we bought the engine from between the engine people, the company we bought it from in Atlanta, and the mechanic. There's been one conversation. In that conversation, the guy said, well, the engine that we shipped was lost and now it's found. Okay, wait a minute. Lost? How do you lose an engine? There's nothing either one of us can do to control the situation. But I cried yesterday. Yes, yesterday was Sabbath. I did try to take my break as normal, my kind of routine break for Sabbath. I didn't do any of the weeding of the see those weeds over the top of my head in the back. See those weeds over there? Those things are as tall as my knees. That's what I've been doing is cutting that stuff down and making compost piles out of it for them. So I think if I go this way with my finger, I think right there, would that be right? Is that that fifth wheel? Oh no, that's I'm on the wrong side. It's on that side. Okay, on that side, there's the fifth wheel over there, and there's a propane tank. So I'm real careful around propane tanks because y'all know I'm allergic to propane. So, but I'm gonna weed over there. But that's where I've been putting the compost piles of weeds as I pull them. I'm not taking down those sagebrush tree things, bush things, but the shorter patch of weeds in front, that patch, that's what I've been doing. Well, I've been piling them near that propane tank over by that fifth wheel. And so that I'm gonna do a little more weeding over on that side this week. I forgot what I started to. I feel like I just did three pieces of conversation and jumped. But on the weeding side of things, I've got more to move over there. And then, like yesterday, I didn't do that kind of work, okay, for Sabbath. I kind of hung out, I rested. I did, however, get on my phone. I sent out a message to the Facebook group and what was the other thing I did yesterday that's not normal? Oh, I watched a movie, a kind of mild movie thing, but I cried yesterday in the morning, kind of hard. Before anybody got up, I did it kind of quietly off by myself to try to affect people the least amount possible. But because I had that emotional whatever bug, because I had that emotional whatever, um, I I put on a movie and just had the door open on the tracker and my bed made, and I put my bed in lounge mode with stuff like, so I was like lounge chair mode with the door open, and just ran a movie after all the emotional and the crying thing, because I'm kind of, I think that I have been very strong. I think that I have been, at least I've been aiming to be a good example of how you can maneuver this even without much money and even with challenges. I'm not sick, but this is hard. And it would be difficult for anybody in any situation, and just in a human sense, this is just challenging and hard. And it doesn't mean it's bad hard, it's just there's a lot of waiting and trying to be reasonable while you're, in somebody's backyard, and trying not to affect them too much because they've got their own family dynamics. They didn't ask me to come live with them. And the situation presented itself, and here I am. They've been gracious, they've been kind, and when I feel physically in my body things come up that I realize are connected to triggers in a mental health kind of way. I make notes so that when I have my therapy on my phone call with my therapist in St. John's, then I'm able to I have a list so that when I talk to her, I can say, "Hey, look, I noticed I did this, and I noticed this other thing. This is what I'm learning from what I noticed." And she and I talk those things over, and it helps me to grow and I hope become a better person. So yesterday my resting took a different flavor than my normal. I have control of everything Sabbath, um, and yet things are working out okay. I had ordered grocery. Oh wait, I feel like I'm jumping again, so let me back up just a little. Um, so because of that, I did not help with this big project behind me, where you see the wood and those pallets. So yesterday, they don't keep a Sabbath the same way I do. And so the mechanic and his family, mostly the mechanic, he converted a polycarbonate shed into a new chicken coop because they have a lot of chickens. They have a lot of birds, turkeys, chickens, and ducks. And evidently school is starting this week. So y'all probably saw some of that. I like to journal on my blog post. That's what started this whole train of thought, wasn't it? Was about what's going on online and where I'm putting things right now. Catherine is a member of the YouTube membership. Some of the other people out here are also members. You guys get little icons and stuff in front of your names. And then my admins get a little tool thing. Iris is one of my admins. And then on YouTube, in that group, Tiny GPS and Iris and somebody else. I can't remember if Beth is in there, but you're admins on that group. Anyway, this week, and maybe for a couple of weeks, I kind of did my journal style blog post that normally has been on Blogspot, simplylesa.blogspot.com. That was my original, that originally, that's all I had. And so I used to once a week do an update out there. Well, I put it on the group this week as a group post, and I'm not feeling like those are transferring over to Instagram like they were supposed to. But when I was doing more of my world travels, hopping a plane and going to another country or living in another country or whatever I was doing, I knew about the buymeacoffee.com site. So I I don't know that I ever had my own thing out there until recently. And so I went back out. I know I sometime this past year, I went back out and I got my account there. I'm going to start using that because it's doing it. It offers what I've been wanting to offer that Patreon doesn't and that YouTube doesn't. And I might be able to consolidate everything better over into the buymeacoffee.com site than other things. What it's going to allow us at some point to do is you are going to be able to sign up for a membership, and I'll try to keep the monthly cost down, and I'll allow people if they want to be a lifetime member. I also out there, hello, I can gift lifetime memberships, which you can't do that on Patreon. So I like that factor. I also like the factor that I can offer you private coaching on Zoom calls. But we also can do group Zoom calls out there where we can like actually see each other's faces and actually talk. So I'm probably, yes, yes, going to work on that site more than these other things that have been available, because that just fits me and my lifestyle better and what I want to offer you better. And I want to keep the costs down for y'all just as much as, I mean, come on. I know what it's like. I've been there. And I'm not done. I ain't dead yet. I know I say that and I say it in a slang way on purpose, but it's true. I'm not dead yet. And so let's keep having adventures. And I'm not done doing what I'm doing. Had I bumped into, of course, this is an if and if thing, but had I bumped into Skipper Doodle earlier, before his mind was set on the Philippines, he and I both, he told me absolutely he would have done what I said. I would have encouraged him to buy a second tracker. And because he's mechanically minded, even though he's 70, he's a little older than me, or 69 or 70, whatever he is this year. Um, I said, I've had a dream or an idea of going up to Prudhoe Bay, which is the Arctic Circle, and turning around and driving the entire Pan American Highway. But I need a mechanic and I need whatever. And when I said to him, "Oh man, I wish you weren't doing the Philippines," I would have asked if you would be my mechanic and drive with me to Prudhoe Bay and let's do the Pan American Highway. And he went, "Oh man, I would have done that in a heartbeat." And I would have bought a second tracker to do it in. And I was like, "Well, dang." But he's in the Philippines. So, okay, so much for that idea for the moment. And come on, I can't even get an engine right now. Okay, that's just a little annoyance. Let me see. Some of my not being able to see this screen is the angle I've got the phone at as well, but I know you can see me better. So please bring questions today. Put 3 uppercase Q's in front of your question so I can find them quicker as I'm having to like do this thing with the angle of the screen and my glasses and whatever else, because it's a little hard to see. So these looked like where I read these before. I think these were all y'all saying hi up here. I'm seeing the mornings. You know what? I think I'm gonna. This is a little hard to maneuver the way I've got it. All right, y'all, don't get dizzy on me. Oh, that doesn't help you. It doesn't help at all. All right. Okay. Okay, these I'm scrolling with my finger down here in front of you. I'm seeing lots of good mornings. Yeah, say hi to each other. Um Back from Mississippi. Oh, that's Beth. Oh, hey. And I think she said North Dakota, but I can't tell that. Or going to. All right. Oh, Catherine, Retta. Yeah. Need plus. Okay, I read that one before. Okay, so now I'm into new stuff. All these people here, waves. Plan on getting glasses from Algodonis. Yep. Broke yesterday. Wish I could get Algodonis. Yeah, but there are some sites online that if you can get a prescription made, you can get a good price on some online glasses, and they do work. They do actually get sent to you through the mail, and it does work. Uh, I don't see who said that. Oh, that's Betty Joe and Brooke. I needed a cry. I guess I did. I didn't mean it to come out the way it did, but there were a bunch of stuff, and then somebody was super nice, and then one of the neighbors came by, and they were super nice to me and the family and the whole thing. um, I don't see any uppercase Q's. So if you had a question, you didn't quite put it in question form, please do redo it for me because I am having a little trouble seeing this today. Okay, so now I'm going to put you back up the other direction and try not to kick you the stand. Um, and I'm going to sit back a little bit. Um, so so let me update you a little bit. I did talk to Catherine this week, and I'm sure some things have changed since I talked to her. But Catherine and Homer's RV is not healthy. I think that they are going to decide to stop being quite so mobile, but they're hunting for a place where they can be near their Mormon faith and hunting for a warm in the winter, not too cold and no snow in the summer area where they can get into some kind of RV park or something, I believe. But for the moment, they're safe on somebody's property near Snowflake, Arizona, or Taylor. I'm not sure if they're in Snowflake or Taylor. Those two towns are so close together. It's kind of one place. Um, and they had access to, I believe, washing machine and water and power and things, or something. So I think they were in pretty good shape, but they know that their rig is not going to be able to continue to drive, and they're getting tired of the breakdowns and the stress. And I know that Catherine could use some extra prayers, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Catherine, but could use some extra prayers, because it's really hard on her, especially after COVID happened. So much changed in her way of viewing and maneuvering in the world that she just gets anxious when things are challenging and harder to maneuver, or she's trying to deal with people on phone lines and things like that that just are not being helpful. And they paid for like towing from some RV. I don't know which one, but one of the RV insurance companies, and they couldn't find her account number, and they pay them a lot of money every month. I'm thinking it was in the $70 a month department. And just the frustrations are just hard, hard, hard. And so, praying for a little peace for her and a little extra guidance and wisdom for how to maneuver those hard situations and the ability to manage it when she needs to, because I know how hard that is. And I mean, I feel blessed that I can be as strong as I can right now. So, uh, oh, someone's asking where am I at? I see a Joanne name. I can't see your name in the thing, Joanne. Uh, oh, there you are. It is Joanne Beeks. Um, welcome. If I've forgotten to say hi to anybody, please don't be upset with me today. I'm having trouble reading the screen today. So please, if you've got questions, 3 uppercase Q's make it easier for me to see. There's a question for me to see. So yes, I am in Nevada. I am an hour northeast, I believe, of Tonopah. And bummer, I noticed the other day, 2 of my good friends, one of them had helped me when I was having a coolant loss thing when I was in Flagstaff. One of them helped me in Flagstaff. And really good guys. For some reason, they didn't know where I was. They drove right past where I'm at and never said hi. They didn't realize, even though I sent them pins of where I physically am, and I've been allowing everybody online to know that I'm technically in Round Mountain, Nevada, which is the Smoky Mountain Valley. Um, for some reason, all they knew was Nevada, and they didn't look to see where I really was. And they drove past me the other day, and they're an hour too far away. And they spent the night in Tonopah, and they didn't even. And I found out like 2 days later, and I was like, "Well, guys, come on, a break would have been nice." And they were like, "We didn't realize." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, all right, right, right." And I had a phone call into Esther, who goes by, let's see, she has a nonprofit and goes by Disciples in the Desert. I had a phone call into her. She was going to come give me a break by taking me in her minivan, which is really an allergic problem for me to ride with her because she smokes. She has a dog with dog hair I'm allergic to, and she uses things in her vehicle that she and I have different health issues. And the things I'm allergic to, she's not, vice versa. Anyways, but evidently 10 miles away from here, there's a really nice primitive camping area. But I can't get to resupplies and I can't do the. So she was going to come before last Tuesday, pick me up, and we were going to go camp, I believe, up in that area or within 20 miles of here, and just give me a break and give the family a break from me and whatever else. Didn't happen. So I guess the great creator must have other plans because these things just not happening. And who knows why. All right, let's see. Middle of Nevada. So there are two parks in St. John's, Arizona. Yes, there are. And yes, for Catherine. I mentioned them to Catherine because it's also, I believe, if I'm correct, 5 different wards of Mormon churches. I may not say that quite right, Catherine, and I don't want to be offensive. So if you need to have that said differently, correct me. I don't know that that's the right way to say that, but I know that there's a very healthy Mormon community in St. John's, and that the RV parks in St. John's are a reasonable price and very close to town for getting anything you need. And they have services and food banks and everything. But I'm not sure whether Catherine wants to be in St. John's. I think I think it would be kind of a okay place for them. But they've talked about quartzite, but crap, how hot it is in the summer, and the fact that you are gonna have to be inside all summer because of how hot it is, and run air conditioners and stuff like that. I don't know. I just, and it's not my decision to make. So oh yeah, tiny GPS blew the head gasket again. Yeah, yeah, there were, yeah, head gasket problems on the engine in their RV, and yeah, they're just having troubles too. This engine head gasket, the severe serious better word, I think. Serious vehicle breakdowns this summer, and the traveling community seems to be pretty big this summer. How can I help somebody else today? I don't really have a big plan for my communications today and for what to talk about. I try to give you guys something to see, but I'm tired. I would like to be starting to move along. I would like to kind of go home. I guess I could tell you this. I've made the decision. When I leave here, I am not going any further north. I am turning around and going home, or heading toward home. I will, obviously, to me, it's obvious. I will get in contact with, I have a good friend from Overland Expo who she and her husband have property in a mini gentleman's farm. I think it's only 2 acres or something in the outskirts of Vegas. I will let her know when I'm more mobile. I will let Tiny GPS know when I'm more mobile, and probably more of you all. But for the first 2 weeks, I plan to stay right close to here camping, which will be hard because I want to go. But I will try to camp. Try. I will camp for 2 weeks close to this area, not here, but so that we can test the vehicle, and if there's any more problems before I leave, where they can be taken care of. And after I'm mobile and able to leave, I need to get a front end alignment. That's going to be another $100. Oh, I did not tell you all about this in a financial sense. Some of you all have been fabulous. Lots of people have been fabulous about donating to me to help me out. It has been helpful for groceries, for the extra expenses, the groceries, the whatever, because I still got to live even while I'm doing these things. So I'm using my own money first to pay for things for the tracker. Okay. And so I've already, I told you already, I've already paid the mechanic up to this point. I bought parts and things that are specific to the tracker, but we won't be able to use. Those will ride with me back toward home. And then what you all send in, some of you have designated that some of the money you donated is especially for gas. I'm holding that aside just for gas when I get mobile again. Somebody else sent me money and said, this one's for food. I want to make sure you're eating good. So I want you to know that I'm sending this with the intention for food. So I use those amounts that way. So if you say something like that to me, that's what I'm going to use it for. So the first things I use my own money for is the car. And I do have 330 or 40 some odd dollars worth of monthly bills that include my low income Amazon Prime of $7, my car insurance, which is $64, I think, a month right now. My, oh, my credit union loan, which is $257 a month. Is that all? It seems like there's one more thing. But anyway, so it's right around that 300 and safe for $350 mark that comes out. And then all my money going straight here. So what you guys are sending me then goes for extra stuff toward this. And if you designate it, I hold it for gas or I'll hold it for groceries. So that's how that's happening. I get $40 ish in EBT, food stamps. So, some of the people who donated to me for specifically monies toward repairs for the tracker specifically said, this is to help with the mechanical for the tracker. Don't eat this one. You know, use this for mechanical. Okay. Um, some of those people who donated and are personal friends, some of them that donate, well, most of the people who donated are personal friends. Um, they kept saying, please put in for the emergency fund with Howa. And I was like, I'm concerned about doing it, but because three of you asked, I will go look it over, reread what the rules are, find out. And I reread it and I looked at it and I was like, in a lifetime, there's a lifetime cap on how much they will help one specific person. And that lifetime cap, I don't remember now how much it was, but in the back of my mind, I think it was something like $1,500 for a lifetime or something. And I was like, come on, y'all gave me a minivan once, even though it had a bad engine, you gave me one. And so it was over that amount. So I sent a feeler email out to the emergency fund with Howa and said, look, I see the cap. I'm aware of this, and I'm aware that this may disqualify me from any help. but I have people who have donated to me and requested that I at least explore the possibilities. So I did. And then I got back a message. We would like you to provide us more information. Here's the application. Please fill out the application. Well, I struggled with being able to get things to them, and my phone would only let me send, like, I don't know, 3 pictures at a time or something. And so, I got to send a picture of my driver's license and my insurance and my, whatever. And if I can only send 3 at a time, now I'm at 7 emails going. And so I was like, well, I hope you get all this stuff. And then I didn't have the estimate exactly in the form they wanted it until the other day. I don't know, it might have been Thursday or something. And so finally the mechanic was able to sit down. His computer office stuff was down for a week or so, which cost him some money. He lost a couple of jobs because of it. But once he got it back up, then he was able to give me that document. I was able to send it to them. And I sent them the notification that I know from my monthly income, I know that right in this particular moment, I can pay 400 toward my repairs. And so all I'm requesting you all to do, if you're even willing, is if you could help me pay the rest of the current estimate, because it's 800 and I don't know, $85 or something like that and change. And I was like, that's what I put in for. I was really surprised. They sent me back that what it's called is a share grant or something, and that based on the fact that I'm willing to pay the 400 out of my own monthly income and this other, and based on the fact that I am very much aware that there's going to be more expenses on top of this, they were like, we have approved you for this share grant. We will pay X amount, but it has to be done in this format and whatever. Well, and then I had to send them back. Okay, great, wonderful, thank you. I didn't expect this, but the engine's lost and we don't know where it is. So please bear with me while we figure out what's going on with the engine and when that's going to show up, when the work can happen. And I apologize that this will take some time. It's not like now that I have an approval, he can start work tomorrow and in a week you get to pay him. And they were like, okay, we understand your situation and we appreciate that you're keeping us up to date on all this stuff, but we still have approved you for this. And so please let us know when those things gets off. So now just to update y'all on this next piece. So with not just with me crying, but yesterday, but the mechanic had already decided that come Monday, he is planning to be on the phone and not nice with the company that we bought the engine from, and and if he has to, with the shipping company who supposedly lost the engine, and because we haven't heard, nobody's got tracking numbers, we don't know what's going on. And when I cried yesterday, like I said, it was on my own kind of personal time early in the morning. They don't get up as early as I do, so I was on the other side of the tracker with my head under a pillow, you know, and trying to keep it really quiet. But when they realized what had happened, and then later in the day something else happened emotional, and I just went, okay, I can't help it. Gonna step over there, but here it goes, gush again. And I was like, guys, I'm kind of at a loss today, and I'm very emotional, and I'm apologize that you have to see me being like this or that the kids see it, but I don't know what I'm going to do come earlier in the week. I feel like, I mean, there's no buses out of here. There's really right this minute, there's no way to get me out of here. But I'm feeling like if something doesn't change this week, like I have to figure out a way to get me and my tracker back to my property. And I don't know what that looks like. And that's when the mechanic said, look, I've already decided that I am not going to be nice with these guys on the phone Monday, and it'll be okay. The kids are starting school, I don't know, Wednesday or something, Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. And so he's like, it's okay, we got this. But he said, So yesterday he finished building their new chicken coop, and well, not the coop, but the chicken house. They have a nice chicken coop yard, but now they have a nice chicken house, hen house. So he finished that up yesterday. That ought to keep them good for a while and get the chickens through the winter, or the birds through the winter. And so I hope this has been coherent and feel like it has been, but I'm feeling like, okay, I've said enough about that. I'm tired. And I don't know what will happen, but I'm feeling like if things don't start moving this week, then I need to have a different plan. And it's scary and it's challenging. And, that would mean trying to figure out a way to trailer it back, which will be expensive. But if the engine is like lost and not coming, it was under warranty, so I could get money. I could get the money back and stuff, but it's hard to find an engine for these. So I don't know what that feels. There's an awful lot of unknowns that are outside of my control. And I've been accused before in the no van dweller nomad van life community. I've been accused before of changing my mind a lot. And what I've always been annoyed with that accusation was because it seemed like these people didn't have an understanding of these things are outside of my control. I have no control over the shipping of this engine. I had control over buying the engine. I had control, and I paid for the engine's all paid for. I paid for parts. Um, I don't have control over what's somebody else's stuff. And I have to make decisions a lot of times. We, as human beings, not just me. This is not just something specific to me. Happens to you guys all the time too. There are things that are beyond our control. It's not. It's. I don't have any hands on with this engine thing at all. So when something like that happens, accusing somebody of changing their mind all the time when there's stuff outside of their control, stop telling that person. I mean, I'm kind of fussing a little bit at the past right now. But those particular people, and Bob Wells was one of them, okay? Stop accusing these people of being victims and or having victim mentality and changing their mind so much. That's not what's going on here. This is not me changing my mind. This is me dealing with things that are way beyond my control. It happens to lots of people. This does not this is not the equation for saying this plus this equals victim mentality or this plus this equals changing your mind. Not true. Get over that, people, and move on from it. Find a way to do something else. This is just things beyond our control. So, all right, let me see what y'all are saying because I'm tired with that. Deep breath. It is a daily thing. Jeremy, hi. Good to see you again. Yeah. And I just learned a long, long time ago that not only have I learned how to accept and deal with change, I kind of like it a lot. I like the adventure and the freedom. And it reminds me now, some of you know I have a tattoo of a dragonfly on my shoulder. Um, and it's part of that dragonfly connection that I didn't realize for years was so connected with my grandfather, who, when I was young, was the person who actually loved me and showed me that. So, up until he died when I was 3. Up until I was 3, he was the person I knew loved me. And I learned what love looked like from him until I was 3. When he passed away, I lost all of that. But before he passed, they lived in a tar paper shack in York, Maine. Now, York, Maine now probably wouldn't even have a tar paper shack anywhere near it. But they lived in that, and they had a pond, and the pond with cattails, which you see in my little logo thing, the cattails and the dragonflies. And I love dragonflies. I always wanted to have a dragonfly lifestyle, because dragonflies kind of flit over something and then they kind of hover a little bit and then they move on and they go see something else. And I thought, what a cool life. And so it's kind of a life I'm building for myself too. So, oh, let's see. Okay, let me go back a little bit further. I saw one triple Q. Okay, I've seen that message before. Let me go back to the one I saw that was triple Qs. Where did it go? Where did it go? Here it comes. I'm looking for a meal forwarding service, 3 generations, to keep an Arkansas mail forwarding, to keep an Arkansas address for a Medicare, Medicaid vehicle registration. Any suggestions or insight? Uh, I, I would suggest that for mail forwarding out of Arkansas, you're going to have to do some research to see if there's anybody that can use that address. Check, I think it's called Traveler's Mail. I may have to look that one up, Iris. Ask me afterwards, right? Send me something to remind me. But I think it's called Traveler's Mail, which is a completely online thing. And but I'm not sure if you can keep your Arkansas address. What happens with those mail forwarding services is that wherever they're located becomes your new home base address. And years ago, when I had the South Dakota plates, the way it would have worked was, and many of the South Dakota addressing, it is that way. You have to actually go once a year to South Dakota, and you have to spend 10 days in an RV park there in order for their address to be your physical address and for that to work for you. There are other mail forwarding services that operate out of other states. I will say this, when you do make your way west, and I know, Iris, you haven't been out here yet, but if you choose to use LTVAs and Quartzsite or Yuma or some of those things, Arizona's, because I did look into Arkansas stuff. My son lives in Arkansas. And I have not been there in years. We're not super close. But I did check it out because I thought about becoming a campground host in Arkansas and setting my services up there. But it wasn't going to work for me. So when I got out near Arizona, I realized that the services in Arizona were just as good as Arkansas, and I could easily change my address. Um, and driver's license was easy to change. It was, I don't remember, but there's unless you're in a big city in Arizona, there's no state inspections. Now, let me tell you that too. Escapees mail forwarding services are another good one because they are a big organization that has been rolling since they were created in the, I don't know, 30s or 40s by that family that started them. And they have physical locations, but so over the road truck drivers and expats who live in foreign countries, there are thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people in the escapees system. And so you having that big an organization behind you is helpful. But one of their locations is Texas, and you have to have annual inspections. The way they've got around that for over the road truck drivers and all, is that you only have to have your inspections when you re-enter the state. So you don't have to go back every single year and get a car inspection. But when you go to drive into Texas, you got to do your inspection again. And so Arizona doesn't have that. Unless you're in a big city in Arizona, you don't need vehicle inspections. And that's helpful for me. plus services are just as good. Now some people are more inclined to want to have California stuff. Let me think. I think it's Tammy and George, Tiny GPS. I think they do the California stuff because is it okay to say that you're from Canada? Um, uh, Tammy's not, but I believe George is from Canada originally. So they have a different situation, and California works better for them. And they get a bigger chunk of service money, food stamps and things like that. But I don't want, I don't like the whole California stuff. And so I don't want to deal with that, but some of them will go to one of the LTVAs that's technically in California, and they will find a mail service from there and work with that. Some people are using some of the mail services right in Quartzsite. And there used to be America's Mailbox used to have a Quartzsite location. I don't know if they still do. I'm not a big fan of Quartzsite. I'd rather be in Yuma or somewhere else. And now that I've been to Baja, just cross the border, people. But uh, I'm trying to. I have a good relationship with my postmistress in St. John's, Arizona, and I haven't had any trouble with my mailing services from there. But there's always the opportunity down the pike for there to be a problem. But I've been okay so far. I created everything paperless back in the 90s before it was popular. And so I have very little mail that comes to me that's garbage, that's junk mail. So, and all my social security things, all my Medicare things, everything's paperless. My insurance is paperless. Everything's paperless. So if I need something printed, I know how to go print it. I have those skills. It's good to learn those skills um, that may or may not have been helpful to you, Iris, in that. But um, I, because I'm a world traveler, not just simply a nomad. And I'm a budget world traveler. Okay. I've, it has finally dawned on me to start using those terms with myself. I love the adventure travel. I love the four-wheel drive stuff. I love driving on a dirt road. I like everybody else is camping down here and I'm over there, you know. Um, but I also like getting on a plane and going somewhere else and just trying something else on. And so I really do have that dragonfly style lifestyle. Sorry about whoever it was that doesn't love dragonflies. I'm sorry, but that's my dragonfly relationship is about that. And so I'm a budget world traveler. Is that the right way to say it? A world, yeah, a budget world traveler. And because I'm a budget world traveler and not strictly a nomad, um, I do my research in some other areas than some people even bother to think about. So some of the places where I do my research are long distance hikers, and some places I do round the world travel or one bag travel. I find a lot of healthy information out there, and I used to rub elbows with people like Laura Dunn and them. We were in hostel. We stayed in hostels together and stuff back in the day when she was starting up her professional. What is she called? The professional hobo. I think that's the name. Anyways, we were in the same hostels together back in the day when she was starting her business. I never started mine as a business, but I kept looking at, well, I could do that. I could do that. Now she's doing budget. I'm doing budget, but I do a different kind of budget because crap, I'm on disability and have been since 2004. And back then I was maneuvering on $600 a month and I was living in a foreign country. It was kind of cool. And I might do it again because after this little thing has happened with the tracker, I have a lot more ideas in my head, and they don't all include driving vehicles. So we don't know where I'm headed yet, but I hope if some of that's helpful, let me check on your messages again. And please, more questions. Please give me something more to talk about today. Let me get the focus off my own crap because this has been tiring. Okay. Jeremy, I'm so glad you're out here again. I don't know how long you get to stay today. Can't wait to see y'all. Can't. I'm going to need some hugs when I get back and near some of you people. Oh, good Lord. So let me get back up here where that question was and then follow down from that. I'm scrolling with my thumb. Did I miss it? Oh, I think I missed it. Okay, go back down. I think it's okay. I know I talk you all through this. I'm scrolling and reading. Plan on getting my glasses. Oh yeah, I saw that a lot. Okay, keep going. Been very strong. I will go through and reread these because I can see y'all are encouraging me. Well, I'm having a hard time reading a little bit, so I'll go back through and read them later when we're not online. To drive to Alaska next spring. Oh, that's Mary. Mary, I wanted to go to Alaska, and I thought about going with you. You and I, in a private camp night, one time, you and I talked about that. I still would like to. I just am concerned about the whole mechanic thing, but we'll see. You know, as long as I get a clean bill of health on the car, why not go? Okay, all right. I went way back up somewhere. Okay, I went way far up. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there it was. Okay, so yeah. So the mail services. Now I can go beyond it. Jeremy. Hey, good morning, Jeremy. Daily thing. Hummingbirds. There you go. Hummingbirds are cool too. Whoops. I hit the wrong. Go away. Hit the wrong screen. Hit the wrong. I accidentally touched somebody's name and it brought up stuff. Phone is getting hot. Gotta go. Okay. I understand that. Mine will get hot after a minute too. Oh, is Babs out here too? Hi, Babs. I love you, girl. You helped me so much to get through when I was building that cabin. Good Lord, that was like challenging. And just to know that somebody else could see that I wasn't making it up, it really was a challenge. And you were so helpful. Thanks, Jeremy. Somebody's going to think you like me or something. It's all good, Jeremy. Yeah. Oh, and man, I wish I could even be using the solar panel right now, but the family's letting me use their fridge. And wow, their farmer neighbor came yesterday and brought a whole 2 boxes of frozen meat from the farm. And he wouldn't let us pay him for it. I tried to pay him. The mechanic tried to pay him. I was like, look, I have grocery money. I can afford to buy my groceries. And if I go to the store and I buy a week's worth of groceries, of meat for myself, it's going to cost me $60. I mean, that's what it's been costing so far. And, I'm not eating chicken yet and stuff like, oh, I got something to tell you about the chicken thing too. But anyway, so I hadn't been able to be eating much else. And so I was, you know, $60 a week in meat. And so I was like, come on, please take some money from us. He wouldn't take any money. And so both the mechanic and I cried after that, just because how how much of a big blessing to be helped so that we could keep helping other people. So we both cried a little bit. Okay, he might not have cried. He might have only had water in his eye, in the corner of his eye, but whatever. And but it was emotional. I mean, it was kind of a thing. And the guy brought some couple of bales of what I believe was sweet hay. I don't know if any of you have ever seen those sweet hay baskets, but that's their new chicken house smells like sweet hay. What a lovely smell that is. So he brought a couple of bales of that for the new chicken house, hen house. And so that was lovely. So man, my screen is dark. Oh, cool. Dark glasses. So, yeah. So, so yeah. I don't know what else to say right now. I don't know what. Oh, food, diet, things. So, because I've been struggling with, making sure that I could have my meat and getting to a store to buy meat and whatever else, I'd been blessed. Every time it was said like, jump in the car. You got you got time to go to the bathroom and grab your wallet. I'm going to the store. I need to go to town. It just came up unexpectedly. If you come, I'll drop you at the grocery store and I'll pick you back up. And it was like, oh crap, okay, let me go. And so that's how the shopping had been from here for a little bit. And you can imagine that's just, you're hoping you get there and there's something you can actually, in my case, there was something I could actually eat, whatever. But every time I'd get to their little general store, they'd have a sale on some meat that I could eat. And so I'm being careful to make sure I buy the freshest sale meat, that looks the best, and that when we get it back here, it goes straight in the freezer, and then I just thaw it out the day when I'm going to cook it or whatever. And so it's worked out. I mean, I'm so blessed. Thank you, God. Because I don't know how well the Creator's just helping this work. So, and then like I said yesterday, the neighbor came by and then he brought meat. He said he wanted to clean out his freezer, and so he was, but anyways, see, he brought meat. And so what a lovely thing. Okay, deep breath here. Step back a few days. So I also had ordered carne seca, which is dehydrated beef, and pemmican sticks, even though they had an ingredient in them I wasn't sure about for me, uh, and a jar of tallow, and I decided to buy a jar of honey on Amazon. Ordered it. Somehow, when I ordered it, Amazon shipped it to the cabin and not to where I am, to to my billing address, not to my ship to address. So when we caught the mistake, they were like, "Well, you have to wait for this to actually go to your cabin and then go back to that and get back to Amazon before you can have your money back." And I was like, "All right, whatever." So I called my UPS people in Holbrook and talked to them and said, "Hey, watch for it. Don't even bother to take it. I'm not home." I thought about having the neighbor pick it up and it would be there for when I got home, but then it was like, you know what? Let's just not. And so the girl in Holbrook actually suggested that rather than having the neighbor pick it up, we just decline it. And she said because the risk of the jar of tallow having broken or leaked and the risk of the honey busting coming up in elevation, she said, let's just do that this time. And I agreed with her because I just, I needed help making the decision in that moment. So they declined the package, and tomorrow I should have the money back in my account. But anyway, so that was a whole batch of groceries that I was hoping didn't need refrigeration and that I would be okay with. When I first started the lion diet in, when was that? November? I think it was November. I could not eat honey. I tried because I was struggling with I don't want to give up coffee. So I thought, all right, well, in um, Michaela Peterson's information, she said if you're struggling with giving up something when you're first new on lion diet, get Manuka honey and try that. Well, Manuka honey, a little tiny jar is $25. Super freaking expensive. And over the winter, I had tried Manuka honey, and one time G, uh, I think his is Travels with G or something like that online. Anyways, some of y'all know him. Anyways, he bought me 2 jars of honey as a thank you for my being able to drive him to the grocery store with the tracker. A few times, and I took him on a couple of little adventure excursions with me because, hey, you don't have a toad. I want to go somewhere. I don't want to go alone. You want to ride with me, kind of thing. And so, as a thank you, he bought me a couple of the expensive jars of Manuka honey, which I took with me to Baja as just in case I can't find food. I should be able to have a spoonful of that honey and be okay for a while. So, just FYI, I tried some other honeys and I couldn't eat them. I like would vomit right away, just like with eggs. Too allergic, couldn't do it. Wasn't able to. But because I'm in this situation and I never know when I'm going to be able to get to a store, I was like, let me get some raw honey and see if my system can handle it yet. I've been 9 months. August, I believe somebody will have to correct me here. I think August gets me close to 10 months or something. I'm 9 or 10 months at this carnivore. Now I'm saying carnivore, and I'm going to start calling it animal based diet. So I thought, under the circumstances, let me try to make sure that I'm getting enough something. I don't believe in like doing the calories thing, but we speak in calories in the United States, so let me use that as a thing. But getting enough calories in so that I'm not hungry and I'm not like watching other people eat and feeling jealous because it's like you haven't had anything in 2 days, right? I've been there before, okay? Or I haven't had anything in 3 days or whatever it is. You won't die, but sometimes it's like, oh man, I'm so hungry, I can't stand it. And I don't know when. When you get in that situation where you're hungry and you don't know when you can do anything about it, for me, it's harder on my brain to, kind of keep that even keel of trusting that I'm going to be all right because I'm in a desert situation. They're not exactly stuff I can just go pick off a tree. So, so I tried honeys recently, raw honeys, and I didn't throw up. Now I did last winter when I was in Quartzsite. I bought some really expensive, good honey from a guy in Montana, and I threw it up. And so at that point I could only do Manuka honey. But now I've tried other honeys and it's working. So that was a plus because now I can do coffee, I can do honey. I tried grass-fed beef ghee from Bulletproof Coffee because I know his is super clean. Can't do it yet. I am technically, I have tested allergic to milk and dairy from cows. And so I can't do that yet, but I can do goat's milk. And so I've been hunting for a long time. Hard to buy goat's milk. You have to kind of do some, not underhanded, I can't think of a good term. You have to do some kind of weird things in order to get goat milk, raw goat milk honey from places that are not stores. So to not get people in trouble because it's kind of illegal to buy in the United States under certain circumstances. And not having too much control over when I can go get things. I tried is it my something or other's brand from Walmart, but it's pasteurized. And I was getting kind of a queasy feeling in my stomach when I was using the pasteurized one. But they also had the pasteurized powdered. And so for a while I was using it and it was like, I don't know whether I just am not okay with this or if it's because it's pasteurized. So I hunted on Amazon since I found out those groceries weren't coming. I hunted to find out any way I can get raw powdered goat's milk from Amazon. And I found it. And I could buy a 2 pound bag for something like $26, I think it was. And so I ordered it and I had it come here. I can handle it. I'm not getting a queasy stomach, but I also am not having that pasteurized process involved. So not having trouble. I ended up having to give the ghee, bulletproof ghee away because I can't do it. I tried it. I can't do that, but I can do the raw powdered uh, goat's milk. It's actually coming from sheep in New Zealand. Um, I mean, not sheep, but about goats in New Zealand. I am able to handle that just fine. And when the mechanic wife went up to Fallon, Nevada, from here is a 2.25 hour drive, something like that from here, to take the kids school shopping this past week. I put in a Walmart order and forgot to put on it honey and asked her if she would pick me up raw honey. She picked me up Great Value brand raw honey, which normally I wouldn't have bought that brand my personal self. But I was like, you know what, God, you sent it to me. Let me see if I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. So I could have goat's milk and honey as my first drink in the morning. I'm kind of holding off and backing off on the coffee a little bit, not having quite as much. Um, but big blessing that those items can travel with me easily without refrigeration or anything else. So big blessing there. And then the mechanic here loves to use his smoker grill. And is it in the frame? It's over there. I got to take these off to say, can you see that yet? Playhouse. I can't see. Oh no, it's back here. I went too far. There it is. Yeah. So his smoker grill's kind of over in there. And so at least once a week he'll put a bunch of meat on there and cook like meat for the week and then stick it in the refrigerator. Well, I was being super careful of the histamine factor, like leftovers factor, and like I haven't done well with vinegars and ferments in a long time, and I understand home ferments. I know how to make cheese. I know how to do all that stuff, sauerkraut, all that stuff. But I wasn't doing well with it for a long time. I'm not ready to introduce those things yet, but let me just tell you. So I've reintroduced honey, doing fine with it. Goat's milk, doing fine with it. Coffee, oh, doing fine with it. So, little deep breath. The other day, he smoked, he had a bunch of beef ribs from the neighbor's cow. And he said he didn't know, they were a little old. He wasn't sure how they were going to come out or whatever, but he put them all on and smoked them, cooked them. I tried to eat a piece of it cold and I just went, I don't know, it just feels weird. But when I sliced some off of one of the bones after it was, cold in the fridge, I was like, you know what? This looks like beef bacon. So I started slicing it up and cooking it in the pan as if it was beef bacon. And I tried it one night. It was so freaking good. And I was like, that is so good that I want to try an egg, but I'm scared. Because last I've tried eggs since I've been here. They feed their chickens commercial grain from the feed store. And generally for probably 4 or 5 years, I haven't been able to eat an egg that gets commercial grain. And from a chicken that eats commercial grain. So I tried an egg 2 days ago. I didn't throw up. But I cooked it the way somebody else suggested. Prior to this, I had been, what's it called? Poaching the eggs. And this time I decided to cook it in the tallow from cooking like the beef bacon pieces of meat. And I I didn't throw up and I was fine all day long. And I ate more of the fake beef, the beef bacon that I pulled off of those ribs. Uh, I ate more for dinner. Then I made another egg this morning and I don't feel queasy. That's a big deal because my food's been expensive and being able to, well, eggs are expensive too, but being able to have a few eggs would be really a blessing to have some variety and whatnot. So I'm wanting to also try to reintroduce, well, I've done this already. I've already eaten a banana and I didn't get sick. And I've eaten berries and didn't get sick. But berries get sprayed with pesticides in the United States. And so, as much as I'd love to have those, I'm going to kind of leave them alone and have the what I'm going to do tomorrow when the wife goes to work, when the mechanic wife goes, or mom, whatever, goes to work tomorrow. I'm gonna give her a little list because she goes close to where the general store is. And I'm going to have her bring back a bag of oranges and some bananas and a jar of dill pickles. I'm a little scared, but it is a fruit, not a sweet fruit. I'm a little nervous because there's garlic and stuff, but I'm going to have her bring those back anyway. And I'm just going to go super, super slow. But if I can, being able to add that to my diet would be like a big, big blessing. So being able to already add in eggs, I'm healing. That leads me to one more healing process that's come up for me is, the fact that I'm still wearing plastic clothes really bugs me. And so that'll be the next big, big item that's more expensive that I will be working on is trying to get away from the plastic clothes because it is not healthy. And I have a couple skin issues from, mm, I was going to say from having been fat years ago, but I have skin issues because I have some folds of skin. And if I was wearing natural fibers, those would heal faster. And that would be probably all my skin would heal up faster. And I'm just being made aware that the next big place to go. So you guys will see that. I wrote about that. So, all right, let me go back and see what's going on back here. Oh, okay. I know that comment. Hard work, but wicked fun. Yeah. Battery system. Car, car used to be just would be the alternator. Oh, something with Jeremy. Okay. What do you know about getting a first time driver's license in Arizona? Piece of cake. Arizona is one of the easiest states to get it in. Walk in the office, show them the current driver's license you have, pay them. It's I don't know. I think the most expensive one is the federally, whatever they call that thing, the federal driver's license is what, $20 or something, and they give it to you for whatever your current age is until you're 65. And so if you're young, it's a piece of cake. It's nothing. And if you can, if you're going to go to Quartzsite or something, go do it in Parker. Do it in a smaller town. It's easier. Uh, okay. Okay. All right. I see you guys are talking. That's nice that George and Jeremy are talking. That's cool. Uh, oh, Michael. Hi, Michael. I saw that your shed thing is coming along nicely. That's nice to see. What if my driver's license expires before I can get to Arizona? Um, well, I would say that probably the worst thing is I'm not sure it's a problem. I think you're okay as long as it's not too far expired, not too many months or too many weeks. But the worst thing you'd have to do is take a written test and drive for them. That's the worst. But Arizona's easy. Um, where are you located, or is that something you could share? Because if you're who I think you are, and you're located in California, you could just, if you're close enough, you could just pop across the little border and go into one of the MDVs. Um, I think I can't remember if there's an MDV in Ehrenberg. I can't remember. Yeah, guys, I'm getting tired today. I will. It's Sunday and it's a work day for me, so I will wash dishes. I didn't do that this morning in the house, but I'll wash dishes and I'll cut the shorter weeds that are right by the new hen house. So it's easier for them to get in and out. That'll happen today. You can't get there until November. Okay. How much is a renewal in California? Is that going to be cost prohibitive for you? Um, because yeah, Parker's the easiest. And what was it I told Orozuk? I think I told him he was in California. I was like, man, don't you know about the mail services right there in Quartzsite? And I don't know whether he went with BCM or Ironwood Outpost or whatever it is, but you go with one of those. It it is um, a physical address for you, so you can do your registrations and everything right there, and then you pop up to Parker and go in the MDV and do all your driver's license and registrations and everything. And registration's not horribly expensive unless you have a brand new car. It's more, but I mean, I have older cars. It doesn't cost anything. Oh, okay, cool. Anyways, so I've been to the MDV in Yuma. That one's a piece of cake too. It's bigger, but it's still just like everything else. You just wait a few minutes. It's your turn. You do your thing. But Parker's easier because smaller office, friendlier people, and if you're there on a day when there's only 3 or 4 people in line, they will sit and talk to you and help you figure out what to do. But yeah. But I've even had success in Yuma, so um, yeah. So I just found out that St. John's has reopened their MDV at a different location. But we, as the county seat for Apache County, kind of missed that we used to have an MDV office. And so they have uh, changed the location over to the um, county offices, which is the old high school, and reopened one there, which is kind of nice. Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. You should be okay as long as if your driver's license is just barely expiring, you should be okay. But if you've been I wouldn't worry about it if it's still valid dates, even though it's from a different state. As soon as you get there, just take care of it. But if it's expiring, then I don't know. I know if the expiration date is close to when you go in, they usually help you figure it out. It's not usually, life has changed, but usually it's not that bad. Yes, and the mailing address, yeah, Michael's telling you, Hillbilly Blue there is telling you about you have to have the mail-in address. But if you're going to get an Arizona mail-in address, then you just do that. Whether you use BCM or America's mailbox or whoever you're doing. But or I think possibly Brooke using UPS store as their address. Some people get it in Flagstaff. Some people use Catholic Charities in Cottonwood. Some of the homeless centers will let you use their address as your permanent address. Any and all of those things can work. You check before you fly SSR. Before you fly, check online and see if you can renew it online because most of the time you can just send them money through an online process. Check that first instead of spending the money to fly. I would. I mean, Why fly a day at the expense? See if you can do it online. It's probably a simple process. All right, guys. I'm tired today. I think we're gonna go. I don't feel like I feel like I've given you some info, but yeah, you know, Nevada Saga, right? It's what is. We just keep rocking and rolling. And I keep trying to stay strong and be a good example for y'all. Um, kind of don't know what else to say right this minute. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and that you pray for each other and continue to be a good example in the people around you in your life. Okay, did that come out in English? Um, um, yeah, try to be a good example um, of the way you'd like the world to roll. Um, Travel light and often, because traveling changes your perspective, helps you to understand what's really important, things of that nature. So, um, um, So hang in there, pray for each other, pray for Catherine, um, and whoever. All of us need prayers. Michael, let's pray for him that his shed doesn't have any more issues. He had a little wind gust bother him there when he was building it, but I think he's got that back under control. Um, well, I don't know what else right now. I didn't see Tink out here. Tink's dog is healthier, and I think Tink was figuring out a way that she could get out of town soon. So I saw her trailer. She had redone her flatbed trailer. That looked interesting. I think that was on Facebook. Hang in there. Send me questions, whatever. Get on to those other things. We'll keep working with those buymeacoffee.com site and the yeah, I don't know what else. Hang in there because I am, and that's the best I can do. And I am so glad that the mechanic will fight for me tomorrow. I'm gonna need that, and so y'all have a wonderful week. I will try. We'll keep talking as we can out here online. Y'all stay safe. Ciao.